Let's do an intro and talk gardening stuff and how our
Oh, yeah.
gardens are out of control because that's kind of where this episode's going.
Yeah, that's true.
Hello, listeners. I'm Erin Walker, and hello, good morning, Heather Dyer.
Hello.
And
Hi.
we're three kitchens.
We're two kitchens
Yeah.
masquerading as three kitchens.
And we were just chatting on here before we press that record button about our gardens and the things that are going crazy and the things that are doing really well.
It's a limited number of things that are doing well, I have to say, in my garden.
Well, it's not because and I'm saying this just for me, maybe not Heather, and things do well not because I'm an expert, but because
Oh,
for whatever
totally.
reason this year it's decided to do well.
Yeah, I don't know why it is. I got some good tomatoes and I've got lots of grapes on my vine. They're little and green right now, but they ripen later in the season. But
Yes.
there's quite a number when you get down. I love like peeking under it because it
Mm,
grows like crazy, and then you don't
yeah.
really know what's in there until you kind of peek around. And I love looking in there to see.
Ooh, that's awesome. I don't
Mm.
think I've ever eaten a grape from your grapevine.
You haven't? They're full of seeds. They're small,
Yeah.
purple. They're called Valiant grapes.
Oh, okay.
So they're not great as a table, like a table grape, but
Right.
I made syrup, grape like pancake syrup out of them last year, and we're
Oh,
still eating
yum.
it. It's really yummy.
Oh, that's really cool.
Hmm.
Oh, I want to try some of those.
Yeah, for sure.
So another thing that is going wild in my garden, which I've told Heather about a few times, is my dill. And so I have these dill plants that volunteered themselves into this garden.
You didn't plant those?
I did not plant those, Heather.
Oh, oh.
I can't remember if or when I actually planted dill or if these are just seeds that have blown in and propagated over time.
Hmm.
Dill will self-seed in our climate. So if you let it
Hmm.
mature and the flowers drop their seeds and then they'll just pop down in the soil and then next year,
Look out.
hello, more dill pops up. I have a ridiculous amount of dill. So it came up in the same spot where my garlic came up, and my garlic is nothing to write home about this year.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
We talked about this with our scapes episode, but my dill took over. And so Heather stopped by and was like, "Oh, wow, look at all your dill." And when I have too much of anything, I'm always like, "Hey, you want to take some with you?"
And I said no, because I have no idea what to do with it.
Yeah, I don't really cook with dill.
Unless you're making pickles, which I've
Yeah.
actually never made dill pickles. I would like
Ooh.
to, but I'd have to buy the cucumbers or a big haul of carrots or something. Carrots and yellow beans are
Ooh.
my favorite pickle.
I
But
love me a good pickled carrot that's got some spice in it too, like some
mm,
chili or something in there.
they're the best.
Ooh. Well, since I have all this dill, maybe we'll come back and do some of that later.
Or beets, pickled beets.
But
Love
they don't
those too.
have dill,
Oh, they don't? I don't even
I
know.
don't
I've
think.
never made them.
No, I think
Oh,
their spice of choice is cloves, I believe.
really? Oh,
You put cloves in with your beets, if I'm remembering correctly. It's been a few
interesting.
years since I've done them.
It's been a while since I've eaten them, actually. Nobody seems to be
Yeah.
making them and giving them to me. Like, that's
Oh.
when I get them. I don't buy them. I just, Mhm.
Pickling beets, I find, is one of the most onerous pickles because you have to cook the beets and then pickle them. And
And
cooking
peel them.
beets and like you cook them whole, you peel them, you
Yeah.
chop them up, then whereas most pickles, like you make the brine, you pour it over, you put on the lid, you boil them up. It's kind
Yeah.
of quicker and easier. I find anytime I pickle beets, I'm like, oh yeah, this is why I don't pickle beets that often because it takes
Hmm.
so long. But back to the dill.
Right. Okay. Sorry about that.
That's
Sidetrack.
okay. Small rabbit trail. So Heather was like, I don't know what to do with dill. I never cook with it. And I was like, yeah, I don't really know what to do with dill either unless I'm making pickles. So, haha, naturally assigned myself to cooking with dill recipes. So,
Nice.
that's where we're going to go today. I sure hope my family likes dill because we're going to be eating a very dilly dinner tonight.
Dilly dinner.
I didn't find a dessert that had dill in it.
Ew, ew, no, no, no,
I
no,
don't think that would go, but I have
no.
a lemon dill chicken
Mm.
that is going to have dill braised potatoes
Oh.
and a Marouli salad on the side.
What's Marouli?
This is the thing I'm most excited about. I'm going to add that in at the end.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, the lemon dill chicken is just a whole chicken. It's going to have a butter and lemon salt dealio going on under the skin.
Mm.
And then you sprinkle dill and parsley around it and some chicken broth, lemon juice, and some seasoning that you rub on it. And you just roast that chicken up. So it's going to be, I
Mm.
think, a mild dill flavor in this one.
That sounds good.
And so I think that's easy and accessible.
Accessible.
There's
That's all you
nothing,
want sometimes in a recipe, right?
you just want it to be easy. It's just a good old
agreeable.
roasted chicken.
An agreeable recipe.
I just want something agreeable. All right, and then we've got these dill braised potatoes. I'm going to do this in my cast iron pan, and you cook them in a broth and butter mixture on the stove. We'll kind of get into the process once I go through it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you sprinkle with dill and salt and pepper at the end, and so that'll be your seasoning. And so you've got some, again, mild dill flavors. And then on the side, you've got this salad. And this is kind of where I started because I saw this salad on an Instagram reel, and it is an iceberg lettuce salad. It's got spring onions, feta cheese, dill, oregano, garlic, and then the zest and juice of a lemon, some white vinegar, and olive oil. And so you've just got this basic vinaigrette that you put on this salad, and it's got all these really interesting flavors coming together. It's a Greek salad.
Yeah, I was going to say it sounds very Mediterranean.
Yeah.
Yummy.
And I've never eaten anything like that before. It's got a good healthy amount of dill in it. And I think all these flavors sound really tasty together. So,
Mm-hmm. And what kind of dent will this put in your dill crop? Probably not at all. You'll be like, I thought I used it. And there's so much more.
when I make you this salad and chicken and potatoes, you might
We'll
also
see.
acquire some stalks of dill.
One year, somebody gave me some. I can't remember. Some friend was like, I have all this dill and brought it like to my house, and I dried it, and then I never used it. Like I clearly don't use dill in my cooking,
Right.
whether it's fresh or dry. So I am curious. I'll be glad to get some ideas from this.
Excellent. Well, I also read a recommendation online because, yes, this is not really going to put a dent in my dill crop other than use up some and be like, I like this or I don't. But something you can do that I read, and I think this sounds like a great way to preserve your fresh dill, is snip off the sprigs, not the flowers. And so we'll take some pictures of this, but there's these little like thin, leafy hands on the side, and then there's these big yellow blooms. And so you can keep those blooms and use them for pickling, or you can keep the seeds and use them for dill seed. But we're going to use these sprigs on the side that are these little, I'm waving my hands around. You can't
Yeah.
see it because
It's podcasting, Erin.
I know.
Use your words.
Oh, shit. I hate using my words.
What are you doing here? What's happening?
I'm in the wrong place. See ya. So you can take these sprigs on the side and you can chop them up and put them in an ice cube trays and then fill it with some water and pop it in your freezer. And then if you really like this lemon dill chicken, when you want to make this, just take out an ice cube and pop it in there. And then you've got that fresh dill flavor. Or in these potatoes, they say just pop it in any dish where you can handle the like little bit of extra moisture, which both of these are cooked in like a broth. So you can just pop it in there and then that'll infuse your flavor in throughout the season. I mean, I think I'd have like 500 ice cubes if I did this with my dill, so I probably won't do a ton of them. But
you could do some.
If you've got some fresh dill, this is how you can use it. And maybe I'll see if I can find some cucumbers. I have in the past grown cucumbers and then made my own pickles, and I've never had enough dill to make my own pickles. And
Now you
I
have
always
the
end up buying it. Now I have the
dill,
dill.
but no cucumbers.
Yeah. I'm just, nothing's balanced in my life.
I bet you could find cucumbers at the farmer's market.
Yeah, I definitely could. Can you give me another month so I can do all these other things I want to do with my time?
No. Well, I mean, I can't like manufacture extra time.
Damn it. If anyone could do that for us, give us a call. Contact us on our Facebook page. How do you alter the space-time continuum? Please let us know.
Time is just a construct, Erin. It's just make believe.
Hey listeners, thanks so much for pressing play on this episode. In these 3 recipes, we make use of all 3 different products that you can get from Salted Lemons, which was actually our very first episode of Three Kitchens podcast. All you need to make salted lemons is salt, fresh lemons, lemon juice, a mason jar, and thyme. Go to our website, www.threekitchenspodcast.com, to find this recipe and more. Now, back to the delicious dinner. I served you a delicious dinner.
A delicious dinner.
Did you
I
get
did.
it?
I did. I got it and I appreciated it. You know, I love a good food pun.
Right?
I am the culprit behind every single one of those that we post.
All of your food puns are seriously my favorite. I don't even know you're going to do them, and then I see them pop up and I laugh out loud because I just
It's been a
love them
while.
so much.
I'm so glad we have this one now. I'm going to make a little something out of it.
Yes, I hope you take this and run.
a good one.
All right. So we had lemon dill roasted chicken, dill braised potatoes, and this Marouli salad. So this lemon dill chicken was easy to make. I made it in my chicken roasting pot.
You have a specific chicken roasting pot?
I have a chicken roasting pot. It was a giftie for me, I think for Christmas. I have it's a nice little, it's a stoneware pot. I don't know how else to describe it, like the Pampered Chef stuff.
Oh, very nice. And it's specifically for chicken.
Yeah, it's a roaster pot. I haven't used it for anything yet until today. Its inaugural recipe, I would say, is good. So we had an onion that was sliced up and placed on the bottom of the pan. And then I took 2 tablespoons of butter and some salted lemon that I diced up and mixed that together and stuck it under the skin on the chicken breast. And then you pop that chicken in the pan. You pour in some broth, you sprinkle around some fresh dill, and then over top of that chicken, you're going to pour some lemon juice and rub in a spice rub of paprika, thyme, and pepper and salt. And then just pop that in your oven and cook it for, they say chickens cook reliably for 20 minutes a pound. This does not happen in Calgary.
Did you just use your thermometer? Because I find that's the only way. Really.
That's the only way. I played the, I wonder if it will cook 20 minutes a pound. No. So my chicken was 3 pounds, 12 ounces. It was supposed to take 75 minutes to cook. It was more like 2 hours.
That sounds about right. And did you just put it in whole or did you spatchcock it or?
I just put it in whole.
Because that also makes a difference. As you were saying, the time, they do roast a little faster if you.
Yeah.
Like, why is that?
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. Anyway, I roasted it for the first hour with the lid on, and then I popped the lid off and roasted it for the second hour and took it out when it hit an internal temperature of 180 degrees. Pretty simple stuff with a little bit of a different flavor. If you don't have our amazing salted lemons, or you haven't made the amazing salted lemons before, just make them already.
Go make them first. You're listening? You have time?
You can use a whole lemon and just, instead of mixing the butter and salted lemon, you can mix together butter, lemon zest, and salt. But really, just make the salted lemons.
They're so much better. They just somehow, it changes the flavor of it.
Oh, it does something because, and really you should just make them because every single recipe in this set of recipes I used because all of them were lemon and salt. And I was like, who has time for 2 ingredients when I have 1?
Exactly. And it's so much better.
So much better. Anyway, so lemon dill chicken. Did you like the lemon dill chicken?
Of course, I like the lemon dill chicken. It's a good roast chicken
Yeah.
and nice crispy skin with some spice on there, which I really like. I wouldn't say the dill flavor was prominent, I guess, but I like it. I don't think I've ever put dill with a roast chicken in my life, and I would now because I think it was good. It's kind of a fresh, different herb, right? Like often you have like rosemary or thyme. If you have those handy, you throw those in the pot. This is like just a little bit different, and I like that. I thought it was very good.
Yeah, I didn't think it had a very strong dill flavor, but it used up 10 sprigs of dill. I would say dill and chicken is a win.
And I would also say that if you don't have the dill, you could still make this recipe, and it's a really nice roast chicken, even if you don't have the dill. Just do the salted lemons already, and no, just
this was a gooder.
win.
Solid roasted chicken, and then potatoes. So this recipe recommended using like the little fingerling potatoes that are,
Whoever has those.
I think you could do this with any potato. If you only have like the little tiny creamer potatoes, go for it. Just put them in as whole potatoes. I just used enough to cover the bottom of my 8-inch cast iron pan. I just cut them up, put them so they're skin side down in the pan, and then you put in a cup of broth, and I think I did like 3 tablespoons of butter. Pop it on the stove, put a lid on it, and boil them for 12 minutes. So then after you've cooked them covered, you want to take off your lid and cook them for 7 to 10 minutes more until that broth evaporates, and you'll kind of hear the butter start to sizzle and the potatoes sizzle. And at that point, you want to sprinkle them with 3 tablespoons of fresh chopped dill sprigs, salt and pepper, and lemon juice. No. I just took the juice that you get in your salted lemons, and I just kind of press my teaspoon down in there so it floods, and then just drizzled that over the potatoes, cracked the fresh pepper, tossed the dill on, soive it up. It recommends you can do it with sour cream. I didn't even remember this. I was like, nope, these are good just as is. I didn't need anything extra. Maybe it was because I used a good healthy amount of butter. I didn't need any more fat in there. I really liked these potatoes.
Me too.
Were you fans of them?
I'm a fan.
I've never cooked potatoes like this, and it was so fast and so easy to do.
Yeah, it's an interesting way to make potatoes. I'd never heard of that method before.
No, so I really enjoyed that, and I would do that again with all those flavors. There was lots of dill on there, but I didn't find it overwhelmingly dilly. I don't know. What was your feel on the dilliness?
Silliness. I wouldn't say overwhelming either, but I felt the dill came through a lot more with the potato than it had with the chicken.
Right.
So I thought they went nicely together because it wasn't like one note. The potato was a bit more of a dill flavor, I guess.
Yeah, they complemented each other well, even though they were in the same spice category.
Yeah, similar ingredients. And
I think this would be good with the little tiny creamer potatoes, like because I think if you, after that first cook, if they've softened up a bit, if you take a glass and just press them down and kind of smash them a little bit, and pop this kind of seasoning on there and cook it up for that last little bit, I think this would be really good with that, and get maybe a better crisp on the bottom.
Oh yeah, that would be good.
I think you could do something yummy with this. So I'd like to try this method with a couple of other types of potatoes, but I tend to just use what I've got.
But they're also good just boiled. I like boiled potatoes. I think because we grew up on them.
Yeah.
I like a boiled potato with butter and salt and pepper. So this kind of potato was like right up my alley. I like it.
I love taking potatoes too the next day that have been cooked like this and just dicing them up and putting them in a frying pan and tossing a couple eggs in there and making like
a hash.
Oh, I love that. And if you've got like sausage or bacon and go with it.
Yes, totally.
You can never have too many potatoes.
This would be great if you made this for dinner. Make a big pot of them.
Yeah. And then we wrapped this all up with the salad. So this salad was a whole iceberg lettuce that I just cut into quarters and then sliced really thin so that you got little strips of lettuce. And then a bunch of spring onions, washed and then chopped up into little rings. A package, it was 185 grams of feta cheese, About a quarter cup of fresh dill
Sprig?
sprigs. Thank
Oh,
you. God, that word is just not making it into my brain. Fresh dill sprigs that were diced up again, 3 tablespoons of dried oregano, and then that was all my ingredients for my salad. And then I made a vinaigrette with 2 cloves of garlic that were grated, the zest and juice of a lemon. This I actually did. A tablespoon of white wine vinegar, 4 tablespoons of olive oil, and then you were supposed to put in half a teaspoon of salt. So I dug my teaspoon down into my salted lemon jar and got like salt that doesn't dissolve at the bottom and tossed that into my jar, and then I let it sit so that salt would dissolve in the lemon juice, and then gave it a really good shake and let it sit for a bit, and then poured it over top of this salad and mixed it all together. The whole time making the salad, the smells of it, I was like, oh, this smells so good. I was surprised that it didn't seem overwhelmingly dilly to me, even though it was very dilly. I felt like the garlic in there was like, woo!
The garlic, I think I could have toned that garlic down a little bit.
Right?
Even though I love garlic, but I was like, whoa!
It was only
salad.
2 little cloves that I put into this dressing, and I ate this out in public because I had to take dinner on the go to go
right.
take my kid to his activity, and I was sitting there and I hadn't had dinner yet, and I cracked this open and started, and I was like, oh my God, I should not be eating this in public. Everyone around me is gonna like give me a garlic bubble.
Keeping the vampires away for sure.
Oh, those were the people who left right away.
Aha. Yeah, the garlic was really strong with this, but I really like the texture of the like shredded sort of lettuce. I've never had a salad that was quite like that.
Yeah, it was kind of like a coleslaw almost.
Yeah, except just lettuce. It was interesting and I liked it. I don't know. There's something about it. I was like, oh, this is so interesting. The texture of it is different. And of course, the cheese and everything, like it was really yummy. I just would have toned that garlic back just a little bit, even though I love garlic. And it's not like I cared who I was breathing on, but I still was like, just the flavor was a bit overwhelming.
Yeah, it was very powerful. I'm glad the recipe recommended 3 cloves of garlic, and I remember, and I looked at it and I was like, that seems like a lot. And then I went in my garlic pot and I only had 2 left, and I was like, well, 2 it is. But still, yeah, I would go
even
down
do
to 1.
Yeah. And I love the creative use of these salted lemons through all of this. It just makes me so happy.
I used a little bit of all the lemon.
Yes. Everybody's going to learn all the tricks, how to use all the bits, the juice, the salt at the bottom of the jar, the lemons themselves. I love it. Makes me happy.
Yeah, this set of recipes was to experiment with dill, and I love that dill goes with lemon and that we get to use the salted lemons through all of this.
Well, it's a good example of because we do use them regularly in lots of things we cook. So I love that. I thought this salad would be great with something like fish.
Oh, yeah.
Dill and fish is kind of traditional, but if you had, say, salmon with this, not like all done up kind of salmon, but just a nice grilled salmon with this very strong flavored salad with it, I think it would be really delicious.
Yeah, and this made a lot of salad. I think if I was making this just for my family, I probably would have just gone for half as much because a whole head of iceberg lettuce made a lot of salad. But then I had some leftovers today, and I had leftover chicken. And so I heated up my chicken and chopped it up and then tossed it on top of this salad. And I would say if you've got like leftover pre-cooked meat, like chicken, this makes a really good, like it's almost like a chicken Caesar salad, but it's chicken Marouli salad. And It was a really good lunch. Or if you're like, it's a hot summer day and you don't really want to cook anything, like that's when I usually default to a chicken Caesar salad. I would
Hmm.
say this is my new default salad.
You know, it would also be just the texture of it reminds me of,
Mm.
shredding up lettuce and putting in like a burger or something. You could also just put this on like crab cakes or like with a chicken like a chicken burger or like fried chicken or like, oh, it's so many things you could serve this with because it holds up on its own because it's so much flavor, but then to have it with like something fatty, like so good.
Oh, excellent.
I would totally make the salad, and I loved it with the potatoes. I
Yeah.
could take or leave the dill with the chicken, but it was definitely good.
Yeah. I don't
Oh,
think the dill really added anything too much to the chicken. It just
mhm,
seemed like roasted chicken. The potatoes
mhm.
and the salad were definitely keepers.
Yes. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Thanks
Go
for
cook with
helping
dill.
me figure out something to do with my dill. I think this is going to be an annual salad that I make when my dill comes into season.
I'll be here because one head of lettuce is too much for your family, so I'll be here to help you
Oh,
eat it.
done.
And now for the fine print. Join us over on the socials, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and on our website at threekitchenspodcast.com. Word of mouth is the #1 way people find a new podcast. And remember, when you like, follow, subscribe, and leave a review, it helps more people find us. Thank you so much for listening. We're strange. The world is strange.
Yeah. Come be strange with us.